The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Dave Scott. I'm the head of marketing here at Marketing Ideas for Printers, and welcome to our webinar. And today we're going to talk about how to stop being misinformed about MIS and start growing your print business. And yes, there are two Daves here at MI4P. As if having one wasn't crazy enough, we've got two. So I'm the guy on the left, Dave Scott, Marketing Dave, and I'm joined today by my cohort and colleague, Dave Halton, who's the president of Marketing Ideas for Printers. He's a over 26-year veteran of the print industry. And not only does he love printers and love the print industry, but he's definitely what I would consider an MIS visionary. So if you all wouldn't mind, as attendees, please let us know. Put a chat in the chat box and let us know you can hear us okay, and let us know that you can see what we are sharing through the GoToMeeting dashboard. So if you would just take a quick few seconds, go into the chat box on the far right and type in a message that you can hear us okay and that you can see what we are sharing. So today, again, we're going to talk about how to stop being misinformed about MIS. The two topics that Dave will touch on here in a short few minutes is going to be our marketing automation component, what that looks like inside of an MIS and the value of that to your print business. And also we're going to talk about how to eliminate the huge frustration that we hear time and time again, which is related to entering in double data entry. So we're going to talk about those two topics specifically. So this is one of 6 webinars that will be coming up in the next few weeks. So again, this is number 1. We're going to have 5 more over the next 5 weeks. So there's 6 total, and each week we're going to be talking about a different subject and a different topic. So let me just see some of the chats. I can hear you, we can hear you, we can see you, good to go. All right, great. Dave, looks like we're in order. This is awesome. It's rare that that webinars start out this smoothly. So a few parking lot items before we get started. I just want to let everybody know that we will have a Q&A session at the end. This webinar, even though it's scheduled for 60 minutes, will definitely not go 60 minutes. We don't want to take up that much of your time. But we will have a short Q&A session at the end. Dave should be wrapped up within the next 20 to 30 minutes. It will be recorded as well. So that's the second note that we've been receiving from a couple dozen emails or so. People are asking, hey, I can't make it, or I'm on the West Coast or East Coast and I have a conflict. Will this be recorded? And yes, it will be, and we'll be sending that out to everybody afterwards. So if you have a colleague or a friend or another peer that you want to send this to, we'll definitely be able to get that to you. And the last thing is, if you are in this webinar today, you'll notice that we have 3 different poll questions sprinkled throughout the webinar. So answer those as best you can. And then lastly, before I give it over to Dave, if you want to get a hold of us before the webinar is done, like you're going through this and you're like, man, I love this tool, I want to learn more about it, or we're interested in getting started, we just want to see the sales promotion and go ahead and get started, reach out to us at mi4p.com/MIS. That's MI4P, so it's an acronym or abbreviation of Marketing Ideas for Printers.com/MIS. It's there you'll be able to learn a little bit more about our tool. And at the bottom of that landing page, we've got a form that you can fill out. The only 2 pieces that we ask for is your name and your email address. So if you want to get a hold of us again before the webinar is over and just move forward with the product, just go to mi4p.com/MIS. I think I covered everything, Dave. And with that, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, let's do this. And here's where we're going to start. And we're just going to rewind history just a little bit and just really go back to where Odyssey started. And it really traces back to the question that we heard over and over again. Dave, you already touched on it, is printers would always ask, can my website connect with my MIS? And without getting into the whole long story, we decided that answer absolutely needs to be yes. And the reason they wanted to do that is because you as printers, you know how it is working in the trenches. You don't want to take that extra time, and eliminating the double entry of transferring online orders to your legacy MIS. That's what Odyssey is really good at, is eliminating that double entry. It wasn't enough though just to make a normal MIS. We wanted to do something that, quite honestly, really has never been done before, and that is adding a marketing component. We're going to be talking about both of those. Those are both checked off of the list here, and we're going to be talking about both of those items in today's webinar. So here's where we're starting, and we're going to take a look at the order form as the interface. And what I mean when I say that is the order form is the interface to your production facility, to the people that are doing the work in the trenches at your shop. The questions that your print buyers are answering, they drive the resources that you use at your printing firm. And if we talk about resources in Odyssey, we're talking about the people, the machines, and the materials that you're using to make printing happen. So that's the middle of this kind of this long, well, not long, but this very important path that we have is order forms connect to the resources. That's the interface. And we're going to use that as a point in the middle, and we're going to work out from both ends of that. And we're going to start on the front end of that. And here's where we start talking about the marketing part of Odyssey. So if you think about the order forms connecting to the resources, let's just back that up one step at a time. How do people get to an order form? There might be a number of ways to do that. There are a number of web to print tools. And in a bit, I'm going to show you one of my favorites, Design Edit. Any of your customers that are buying printing online can use a number of ways, Design Edit being one of them, to make printing happen. It all funnels into an order form. Let's back it up one more step behind that. How do they get to that tool that helps them build printing online? That's where the marketing part comes in. And what we want to do with Odyssey, what you'll see here in just a moment, you'll see the tools that will drive your prospects and customers to those tools on your website, to the order form, which then connects them to the resources to make printing happen. Another way of thinking about that is Print MIS. Now it's not just about that time during production. Now we've backed it up, and so Print MIS is actually helping you bring prospects and customers to your website even before production happens.
Hey, Dave, I think now would be a really good time as we're talking about what that looks like for our very first poll question.
Here we go. Let's do the poll. And I think I can pull that up. And let's do that.
So the poll question for everyone is, do you currently use an MIS, marketing automation, and CRM solution? Yes or no? So really simple. Do you currently use an MIS, marketing automation, and CRM solution? So go ahead and fill that out. Go ahead and click yes or no. And
I think the important word in there is and. We're really looking to see if you use all three, MIS, marketing automation, and CRM solution.
And we'll give you guys about another 15 seconds, and then we'll finish up with the poll and get back to the presentation. All right,
While
Dave.
that poll is coming in, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my screen here, and we're actually going to look at some of those marketing tools here. So let's go over to my screen. We're going to go into the real world here now, and the real world of Odyssey. I've got two screens going on my computer right now. Take a look at the left one. That is your first view of Odyssey. That is what you and your team would see when you're looking at Odyssey. And boy, I could go really deep in a lot of these areas. I'm not going to right now. I'm going to go right to this marketing component here. This is a big deal. The marketing tool is just something that we just have not seen before. And actually, it looks like the one that I had loaded may have made an early exit. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I'm actually going to work this backwards to forwards and show you how the marketing component builds its information. And so if we look here in the accounts section of the marketing tool, you'll see social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WordPress. I'm already connected to all of those channels. And once you're connected to it, Odyssey does the rest, plugging in the content. You'll see that in just a moment. So that's the first step, is connecting to those different channels. Then we're going to say, who's going to see that? Well, in a lot of cases, just social media, everyone will see that. But we are also going to show you how you can send emails out to people, and even direct mail as well, by building some lists. And here's one of those lists. You can build that list to reflect everyone that's in your website, or even parcel it out by different groups of people in the website. And then here we get to where the magic happens, the actual campaign itself. Right at the top, we see some high-level information about what Odyssey is doing and in terms of sending out the information or reminding you to do information. We drop down here and we'll look at this one campaign. You might have multiple campaigns, but I'll just pop this one open. And this is a website relaunch campaign. We've developed content to help you out if you are launching a website for the first time, but in most cases these days people have a website and just need to relaunch it. That's what this helps you do. So just to walk you through this a little bit, it all starts by picking a scheduled time. I've got this one set to start at tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And what happens at that time? Well, that very first blog post goes out. It's loaded up. If you're connected to your social media account or to your blog WordPress account, that just happens. And then we're going to wait 3 days. That's what this little circle is in here. We're going to wait 3 days. And then we're going to send out a tweet. Use Twitter to send out a tweet. Wait a little bit longer, send out a Facebook post. The content is loaded in there. Wait a little bit longer. Here's our LinkedIn post. We'll get that, all driving people to that destination we want them to get to. And then we're going to send out an email to give them one more nudge to get where they want to go with the email composer tool within the marketing part of Odyssey. Now we get to an interesting one. We're going to wait a little while after that email, and Odyssey is going to send a postcard. No, Odyssey is not going to walk down to the post office, but it is going to send an alert to someone that's been assigned to do that duty. So Odyssey will do what it can, but when it can't, it's going to call in a little extra attention here, and that postcard is going to get sent out. We'll wait 7 more days, and we're going to send off one more email. And that is your first look at a little teaser on how the marketing part of Odyssey comes together. So if you think back to that path that we had, those icons up there, all of this is meant to drive people back to something on your website, and that's what this is. This is Design Edit. And this is something that's available on all of the websites from Marketing Ideas for Printers. It's an online design tool, very intuitive, very easy to use.
Hey, Dave, could you maximize that so we could take a bigger look on that?
Absolutely. There we go. How's that?
Looks perfect. Thank you.
And we'll just type a little. I won't go super deep in here, but I will show a little bit of just this nice, easy to use interface. We'll change the font size, drop it down a little bit here, and play around with it in a few different ways. Maybe you don't like the picture that's in here for pruning. We're going to go ahead and change that image. I think I had one that I was experimenting with before. There it is. That one looks better. We can make as many changes as we want. Change the phone number. This is the print buyer, of course, making those changes. And I'll go ahead and just simulate what that order looks like here. Now, here's where the next part happens. Remember, that was one of the tools that leads to an order form. And there's our order form. I'll just fill out this information, again, staying high level. Oops, let's get a fold in there as well. This is an example of the customer giving an answer, which is connected to the resource. So we'll show that in a little bit as well. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and finish this order. Check out now. And at this point, it is really like a shopping cart. It is a shopping cart. It's a traditional shopping cart experience. And we'll go ahead and complete that order. So there you go. That is the look at the marketing tool. And let me get back to my slides, pop open my screen a little bit more here again. And let's get back to where we were at. So there you go. That is your first look. Well, maybe not your very first look, but for some of you, but this is one of your first looks at how Odyssey handles marketing and drives the people back to the website. Now let's take a look back at that middle part again, because remember, we started by saying the order forms are the interface to the resources. What happens on the other half of that equation? And so we're going to focus on that a little bit now. That's the other big target we are after, is making sure that Odyssey is a print MIS that eliminates double entry. So if you take a look at that, we've got the resources connected to the job ticket. So Odyssey knows what needs to happen to make that printing happen for that print buyer. It'll gather all of those tasks together and put that into a job ticket. That job ticket will then be what your team uses to make production happen. And then we get to that all-important big finish. Once printing is done, you get paid. I think we all like how that ending goes here. That's the big ending we're really after here.
And Dave, just to confirm, that order that you just completed and Design Edit is created in Odyssey and now is a job ticket for the printer to complete, correct?
Exactly, right. So yeah, now we'll show the other half of that equation, but it takes that first half, moves it into the production part, which we just talked about, and we'll pull that up on screen in a moment. But before we do, I think that is my cue for that second poll. Sound about right?
It is.
All right, let me see and get that one going here.
All right, poll question number 2, everyone, is how much time per job on average do you spend manually re-entering in information? How much time per job on average do you as a printer or your team spend manually re-entering information? This is a huge frustration that we hear from a lot of printers, not only prospects, but current customers as well, that they're constantly having to re-enter information or filter out or delete duplicate entries, what we call deduping. Deleting duplicate entries. So how much time per job on average do you spend manually entering information?
And we're asking that, of course, in the context of orders placed online. That's kind of the presupposition there. We're talking about those online orders.
And we'll give everybody about another 10 or 15 seconds, and then we'll wrap up this poll.
Okay, well, let's close that poll. And now we'll take that and move it into, let me get my screen back here. I'll zoom in again. This time I'll zoom in on the Odyssey screen. And so now we're going to work on the other half of that equation. And the other half meaning the eliminating the double entry. So just as Dave mentioned, you've now seen Design Edit funnel into an order form. What happens with that order form? Well, like any good website system, you and the person that placed the order are going to get an email notification, but it's more than that. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Odyssey. Now I'm playing the role of someone on your team, and I'm going to go ahead and look at that order. And there is that order. So I saw a lot of people were responding to that poll. I guess we probably should have shared the results, but a lot of people were in the 5 to 10 minute range about the double entry. There's a lot in that less than 5 minutes as well. We haven't even left that poll for 5 minutes, but here is that double entry. It's gone because here's our job ticket. And we can take a look at that right on the screen. This is the online view of a job ticket. We also have that printable job ticket we can look at as well. Both options are there, whether you and your team want to work together online or use a printable job ticket. That's how it happens. So we go ahead and we're making that, making production happen, and we can look at the scheduling. We're not going to do that right now today, but I do want to put that teaser out there. That'll be a focus of a future webinar. You can see how the schedules divide up into the different tasks, and ultimately, we hit that big finish. We're going to go to the accounting. You know what? I need to do one more spot here. Let me go back to that order, go back to my recently viewed, and I need to change that to ready to invoice. And now I'm going to go back and we'll create an invoice. And there's my lawn care flyer that I just ordered. Oops, down here. And we're going to hit invoice. There's more information about that invoice. And we can go deeper into that in a future webinar as well. For now, though, we're just going to go ahead and save and print and close. As soon as I put in my date there, got my friendly reminder. Save and print and close. And there we go. There is our invoice. Send it out to your customer, or they can get it online as well through their view of their portal. And that's it. That's the big finish. That's what we're aiming for with Odyssey, is to get you to that end of that line as quickly as possible.
So Dave, we talked a little bit about the marketing component, the three pieces from campaigns to creating customer lists to connecting your blog and your social media component. We talked a little bit about deduping information. That brings up our next poll question, our last poll question. So if you could, let's cue that one up.
Okay, yep, and we're going to backtrack to this slide too. Can I hold on to that poll for just another moment?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the one thing that we want to touch on here is everything that you've just seen makes it seem like Odyssey is all about online orders. And it is. We don't want to take away from that. It certainly is. It's very efficient at online orders. But it's not just online orders. It's also about legacy orders. Legacy orders, meaning like placing orders face-to-face or on the phone or by email. We'll keep that in our pocket as a topic of one of the future webinars as well. Also want to take a moment to talk to our existing subscribers. I know that there's a number of you that signed up for this webinar. You're either on the webinar or perhaps going to watch the recording of the webinar as well. And Odyssey has been this ongoing series of kind of soft launches. We are so thankful for our earliest customers that have helped us every step of the way. And we're here now. This is kind of a fun time. Odyssey is now to the point with the addition of the scheduling and marketing where we are at that hard launch point. Now, I also know that there are some existing subscribers that have not yet fully gone live. And so just talking to you just for a moment, now is the time. I also want you to know that I am here to help. I am personally becoming more involved in that onboarding process. So I'm working with you as our customers and with our team. We've got that process locked down. It's being followed by all of our team, but we're just putting a lot of extra push to help get all of you live. Now, we also have a killer promo if Odyssey is catching your attention. We want to make sure that you know about that too. And we're going to come up on that in just a moment. And I think that now takes us to the poll time.
You got it, sir. Go ahead.
All right, here is our last poll.
So last poll of the day is, what percentage of your printing orders come through your website? What percentage of your printing orders come through your website? Is it 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75? Or are you maybe swimming in cash from all of your online orders? I don't think that's the case, but we just wanted to throw that in there for a little bit of humor. So again, what percentage of your printing orders come through your website? We'll give everybody another 10 or 15 seconds to answer that one, and then Dave will go ahead and close out that poll.
And we certainly don't mind helping you all move towards that swimming in cash part. That really is where we want you to be with Odyssey. That's the very first slide that started it. We help you sell more printing. That phrase drives everything we do, and it's certainly true with the MIS part as well.
Absolutely. So Dave,
let's see how we're doing. Should we share these results this time?
Yeah, go ahead if you can.
I did not do that on the others. I should have, but let's go ahead and pull those up. So, yeah, there's some people that have some work to do here. It looks like in that 0 to 25% range. And so, yeah, Odyssey is definitely part of the equation that can help. No question about that.
Cool. I love it.
All right, now let's see. I just missed something here. Let me get our screen back. There we go. Now we've got it. All right, let's move into that big finish. And this is what we talked about for our prospects that are perhaps looking at this and saying, yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea. I think I want to consider that. This is the sales pitch part of the webinar, so just so you all know that, up ahead, here it is. We just have a killer promo for you. Today's version of Odyssey does require a website from Marketing Ideas for Printers, and it does require one of the add-ons called the e-commerce suite. Those are the two requirements to run Odyssey right now today. At some point in the future, Odyssey will be available on any website. But right now, today, it does require a website from Marketing Ideas for Printers. So one of the things that we wanted to do is just kind of remove that barrier. If you don't have a website with us yet and are considering Odyssey, we're going to remove the startup, the implementation charges on the website and the e-commerce suite. That's a grand total of $1,498. That promo is in effect until June 15th. So just kind of keep your eye on that calendar, and let's get that moving right away for you so you can take advantage of that promo. Also, once you get started, everything is no charge for 30 days. That's Odyssey, that's the website, that is the add-ons, the e-commerce suite. And then on day 31, that's when the subscription starts, the monthly subscriptions. How did I do, Dave? Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it all. Do you want to pull up that slide and to kind of reflect that? I'm not sure if you do or not, but.
Okay, well, here it is, and this is the part where I start sounding like that cheesy late night commercial. Operators are standing by. So if you are at a point where you're ready to get going, just send me an email. My email address is down there below, dh@mi4p.com. There's no way I'd think about going about this alone, so we bring in these lovely ladies to help as well, and that is Alyssa and Cindy. Many of you already have visited with them. They are great guides for you as well. So we are here to help you get started. And
Dave, just so you know, I cannot see the slide promo, so you might want to.
Oh my goodness, let's rewind. We cannot let that one go. Thank you, Dave.
No problem. That's okay. It's actually Dennis Kogan. He brought up that he raised his hand and put a question in the chat, so I'll give him credit for telling us that.
Thank you, Dennis. You are always a welcome help on that. So let me see. What am I missing here?
Yeah, and I still see your invoicing screen from Odyssey.
There we go. That's what we're looking for, I bet.
It is. So if you want to go down and grab the promo slide, that would be awesome.
There it is. I think we got that up there now. Just another day of technology making life easier. There it is. Okay, thanks for calling that out for us.
And the one I still see, Dave, says, we help you sell more printing.
Now we got it.
Oh, it was there, and then it went away.
There. Now we finally got it. Hopefully that was worth the wait for everybody. So the quick recap on that is save $1,498. That's the implementation fee for the website and for the e-commerce suite. We're waiving those fees completely, and that is valid until June 15th. No charge on anything for 30 days for the monthly subscription fees. And then the monthly subscriptions on the website and Odyssey and any of the add-ons that you've decided to use at that point, that starts on day 31. There's the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, that's great. And just so everybody knows, I've been here for a short period of time, but this is the strongest promotion that we've ever offered here at Marketing Ideas for Printers. So please, please, please take advantage of those savings. They're pretty incredible. One thing that we didn't mention is if you are an existing customer of one of our website solutions and you're not using Odyssey as an MIS today, and say you want to upgrade to a new platform or new design template, you can do that at no charge. So that would suffice to say that we'll give you a similar promotional benefit as if you were a new customer coming on board with us. If you do want to get a hold of us, and again, Dave will share his contact information. There we go. Perfect. If you do want to get hold of us before then, and we will dive into Q&A here in a minute, please just head over to mi4p.com/MIS. That's mi4p.com/MIS. You'll be able to see some testimonials of some customers that currently use our website and Odyssey solutions together, and you'll be able to fill out a form and take advantage of these price savings and the promotion savings that Dave has talked about. So Dave, we have a few questions. Are you ready?
I am, and just as a reminder too, if you don't want to deal with my ugly face, then you get the lovely ladies here, Alyssa and Cindy, which many of you have already probably talked with. Any of the three of us will help you get started.
Cool.
Let's hit those questions.
Yeah. So the first question is the invoicing accounting interface. How about when using Sage Peachtree? Can we help them if they're using Sage Peachtree as their accounting interface or their accounting platform?
Well, I'll get to the bad news first. No, not with Sage Peachtree. Well, not directly. So I'm going to start kind of bending that bad news a little bit. So the way Odyssey is set up is it is going to handle all of the accounts receivable part of it. You know, the accounts receivable, the invoicing, the statements, aging, things like that. And then for the big picture stuff like profits and loss, balance sheets, those type of pieces of information, that's where you'd still want to use something like Sage, Peachtree, or QuickBooks, and we'd just get that bigger number out of Odyssey to plug into that.
Cool.
Just a little teaser down the road, we are looking at perhaps tightening up some integrations with QuickBooks Online. That's a topic for another time as well. So that's how it is today.
Yeah, that's great. And just so everybody knows, if there are features, if there are functionalities that you all find valuable with another MIS solution that you might be using today that's not Odyssey, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. We always are looking to improve our roadmap and get items that are valuable to you all on that development roadmap to improve Odyssey. So Dave, the next question is invoices, interface to QuickBooks now or in the future? So talk to us a little bit about interfacing with QuickBooks. What does that look like in Odyssey today?
Yeah, so I just touched on that a little bit. And so right now today, no, there is not a connection with QuickBooks, not a direct connection, but that is an item, talking about the roadmap, that is an item that is on the roadmap. And just as a matter of kind of a point of interest, perhaps, is that's what we do here when we are running the transactions with our customers, with our subscribers. It's not the exact same as Odyssey, but we do have a live connection with QuickBooks Online, and it's pretty slick. So we've been down that road, we are on that road, and that is something that we do have on the roadmap to bring to Odyssey at some point in the future.
Cool. That's a great answer. I love it. So the next question comes from Joe. Joe asks, how difficult is it to import clients and pricing info into Odyssey?
Yeah, that's the $1,000,000 question. You know, if we're kind of looking for those barriers and obstacles, that's the one that tends to show up a little bit. And so there's a lot of nuance to be able to answer that question fully. So I won't go into all of those levels of details, but we know that that's a big deal, and that is something that that we do help out with as much as we can, and that's a behind-the-scenes thing. So importing the customers, importing some form of history. Probably is not going to give every little tiny detail of a job ticket, but at least some kind of a history. It isn't a one-size-fits-all answer, but it is something that we do try to help out with, and so that'd be something that we would talk about on a case-by-case basis.
Great.
I'll also say it's kind of nice to tie it into this too. Is, you know, early in the presentation I mentioned that we brought the scheduling and the marketing tools to Odyssey, and that's it for today. Now Odyssey is going to grow. There's so much that we have planned for it, but we're kind of taking a pause right there and saying that's all the new stuff that we're adding right now. We're going to concentrate on making Odyssey as usable and as friendly for the people that are using it right now. That's going to give us a little more horsepower to do those type of things that you're talking about with the importing and making that transition easier.
That sounds great. I think that's it for now. What I want to do is just remind everybody that this is one of 6 webinars. So today we talked a little bit about the options where printers can go ahead and take advantage of if they want to eliminate those frustrations regarding duplicate data entry, and certainly touch on the marketing component. If in the future you want to see the rest of the webinars, we're going to be talking about 5 more weeks of topics related to Odyssey. Some of those things will be like switching from another MIS if you want to come to Odyssey and what that pain looks like. We hear a lot of those concerns and frustrations. We're going to talk about online ordering next week and how that looks like, everything from marketing your business to getting traffic and leads to your site, as well as once they do get to your site, where do they go to order online and what does that look like? So we've got 5 more weeks of this. We'll be sending out emails to everyone here today to remind you of that. And if you certainly, again, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us at mi4p.com/MIS. And, again, we'll certainly send out the recording later on so you can have Dave's contact information as well as the rest of our sales team and Cindy and Alyssa.
Well, we don't take it for granted that you've taken a good, strong half hour of your day to spend some time with us, and we really do appreciate that. In a moment, Dave is going to close down the webinar, but please, if you could, just give us about 15 more seconds of your time. Stick around for the end of the webinar. As soon as it closes down, there will be a survey that pops up, and just take just a few seconds. We'd appreciate your feedback on that as well.
Yeah.
That's all I've got, Dave. Anything else from you?
No, I don't think so. I think we're set. Appreciate the questions from everyone today. And if there's anything else we can do for you, please let us know. But again, we will go ahead and reach out to everyone afterwards with all of that information that we went over today. And we will certainly go ahead and send out these recordings and the reminders of the additional webinars. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. We took up about 35 minutes of your time, so we're going to give you the rest of your day back. And Dave, this has been wonderful. Thanks for all the great information.
You bet.
All right. With further ado, we'll bid everybody a great rest of your Thursday. Thanks so much.